What is going on, fight fans? We are back with DJC's Nightmare Matchup series, where I talk about nightmare matchups for champions in every division, breaking down which contenders are the most difficult matchups for each champion to solve. I've done 5 of these across 4 years, and now I'm on my 2026 edition. And without further ado, I'm going to start with the lightest weight class, which is the strawweight division. And your new strawweight champion for the first time in years, not named Zhang Weili, is McKenzie Dern, a Brazilian jiu-jitsu specialist, an 80cc black belt. That accomplishment is no joke. Dern has a lethal submission game, very dangerous on the ground, and even though she may not be the best striker in the world, her striking is still dangerous because she's not afraid to throw down, get in a scrap, throw hands, and she's got some pop to her punches as well. Dern is very tough, she has a lot of heart, and is an all-around very dangerous fighter, and her becoming champ does shake this division up. It does make things interesting. However, if Dern wants to cement herself as a legitimate champion, then she must get past former long-reigning strawweight queen Magnum Zhang Weili, who never lost the belt. She only vacated this title to try and become double champ, which ultimately did not go her way. But Zhang Weili is a horrible matchup for Dern, because whereas Dern is a specialist, Zhang Weili is a mixed martial artist. Weili is the most complete fighter in the division, with far more paths to victory to McKenzie Dern's limited path, which is get this fight to the ground, get a sub. But Weili is the superior striker to McKenzie Dern, the superior wrestler, elite takedown defense, and even when it comes to jiu-jitsu, Weili's no slouch there either. She will not be easy to submit. Weili is also a physical tank compared to Dern. She's bigger than her, she's stronger than her, she's faster than her, more powerful than Dern. All around the better, more skillful fighter than Dern. And if this fight happens, it feels extremely unlikely that Dern would win unless she got extremely lucky. And that says a lot about how good Zhang Weili is, how great she is, and the level of danger that Weili brings to the current champion will be an 8 out of 10. And next on this list, Tatiana Suarez. This matchup would be 2 of the biggest ground specialists in the division going at it, with Tatiana being the best wrestler, Dern being the best at jiu-jitsu. Dern has an advantage in the striking, and I think she should actually focus on that in this matchup and actually work on takedown defense, because Dern, with how good her jiu-jitsu is, she doesn't depend on takedown defense because she's so comfortable fighting off her back, which could work against her, because her lack of takedown defense will make takedowns available for someone like Tatiana, and someone with the level of Tatiana's top control could nullify the bottom game of Dern. And Tatiana Suarez's positional awareness and her jiu-jitsu experience could make it highly difficult for Dern to find submissions off her back. Tatiana has a high chance of just out-wrestling Dern for 5 rounds and shutting down her submission game and grinding her out to a decision. And the third runner-up will be a familiar foe, someone who beat Dern in the past, Yan Xiaonan. And even though Dern has made some improvements since, I still believe Yan Xiaonan is one of the more difficult matchups for Dern in this division, because all these years later, she is still the superior striker to McKenzie Dern. And unironically enough, her ground game is her biggest weakness. But in that last fight, Dern failed to capitalize on that and was stuck in a 5-round striking match where she got picked apart. And if she's still not able to impose her ground game enough against Yan Xiaonan, she might find herself in a very similar situation as the first fight. Now, for the women's flyweight division, your champion is still Valentina the Bullet Shevchenko, who's been a dominant force in this division for 8 years, which is absolutely insane. And I think her longevity just has to do with how well she's been able to keep her body healthy and fight to these smart game plans to where she's avoiding damage and she's evolving with the game. And in this game as a veteran, if you're not evolving with the sport, you will fall behind. Valentina Shevchenko also is the most complete fighter in the division. She's literally the best striker at flyweight, and she can literally out-wrestle anyone in this division. She's got an elite ground game, great fight IQ, which makes her the ultimate final boss. But the nightmare matchup for Valentina Shevchenko is going to be Natalia Silva. And why Natalia Silva is the nightmare matchup for Valentina is because she's got the youth, the confidence, the athleticism. She can match the speed of Shevchenko, but along with that, I believe her footwork is better than Valentina, and I think she is the only one in this division that has a complete enough striking game to go up against the striking of Valentina. Not only can she throw hands with Valentina, she can throw kicks with Valentina. And her footwork, her angles, her distance management will make her very difficult for a really good counter striker like Valentina to be able to find counters on someone like Natalia Silva. Natalia Silva also has very good takedown defense, and she's not an easy person to hold down. And I believe by the time these two fight, Natalia is going to bring the best version of herself, even better than the one we saw against Rose Namajunas, which was a flawed performance. But I do believe for Valentina Shevchenko, Natalia will up her level, making her one of Valentina's most difficult title defenses. And the level of danger that Natalia Silva brings to the current champion is a 6 out of 10. And the second runner-up will be Manon the Beast Fiorot, someone that Valentina has already fought once before, but this was one of the most difficult fights in her entire title reign, outside of Taila Santos and even a couple of the Grasso fights. But what made Manon such a hard fight for Val, and what still makes her a hard fight, is she has something on Valentina Shevchenko that kind of trumps some of Val's biggest strengths. Valentina is used to being the physical bully in the cage with the grappling advantage. She does not have that over Manon. Manon is the one who is bigger. Manon is the one who is stronger. Manon has elite takedown defense. So Valentina cannot physically bully her. Valentina cannot rely on just taking her down. She has to mainly focus on her striking, to which she does have the advantage. But Manon Fiorot's striking is good enough to where she can hold her own on the feet. She can threaten her own takedowns on Valentina. She can also control her in the clinch and win rounds against Valentina. And I believe in a potential rematch, she does have a shot at getting this one back. And the third runner-up will be another familiar foe, and the only one to give Valentina a loss in this division, Alexa Grasso, a mix between high-level boxing and high-level jiu-jitsu. Alexa Grasso, as of right now, showed to be the only one who can take Valentina Shevchenko in the stand-up, who can threaten her there, beat her on the feet, win exchanges, hurt her, do damage, force Valentina to adjust with her grappling style because the striking is too risky. But then even on the ground, Grasso is active when it comes to attempting submissions, always making Valentina work and think from everywhere the fight goes. And I believe Alexa, at her absolute best, is always going to pose a threat to Valentina Shevchenko. And the version we just saw, Destroy Macy Barber, I believe has a good chance at potentially getting it done once again in a quadrilogy. And now for the women's bantamweight division, where the champion is Kayla Harrison, a dominant force in this division, a nightmare for everyone to fight because she is like a physical bully. She's too big, too strong for everyone in this division, but also just too good of a grappler for everyone in this division. She's like a puzzle that no one can really figure out. She's an elite judoka, but I believe there's anyone currently right now capable of beating Kayla Harrison, It's someone who is coming out of retirement, who Kayla was supposed to fight back in January, but it was delayed due to Kayla's injury. That someone is Amanda the Lioness Nunes. And what makes Nunes a nightmare matchup for Kayla Harrison is her experience. She's a former 2-division champion. She's been a long-reigning bantamweight champion. She's got a lot of confidence. And also, stylistically, she's got superior striking. She's got devastating punching power. And along with that, Amanda Nunes is also physical. She's not outmatched fully when it comes to size and strength. She's strong enough to hold her own if Kayla gets a hold of her. And when it comes to grappling wrestling, Nunes checks those boxes as well. She's not going to be an easy person to take down and not going to be an easy person to weight bully, and Kayla cannot beat her in the stand-up. And if Kayla cannot impose her grappling fully in this fight, she will lose to Amanda Nunes. And the level of danger that the Lioness brings to the champion Kayla is a 7.5 out of 10. And now, moving on into the men's weight classes, starting with the men's flyweight division, where the flyweight champion, the newly crowned champ of this division, is Joshua the Fearless Van. And he truly is fearless. He's got the youth, he's got the confidence, he's got the swagger, he's got elite striking with elite crazy hand speed, good boxing. He's got knockout power as well. He's got all the makings of a potential superstar. However, he is the champion of a talent-rich division. And I believe with him being champion, there are a lot of guys in this division who can challenge him. One of them in particular being his last opponent who he dethroned for the belt, which was questionable, Alexandre the Cannibal Pantoja. These two have unfinished business. It's unfortunate the way the last fight ended, where Pantoja got injured. We didn't get to see this fight properly play out. But this matchup has a lot of unanswered questions. We don't know how Joshua Van can deal with the elite level grappling of Pantoja. It's no secret Pantoja has a better ground game. Pantoja has better wrestling. He can take down anyone at will. He's hard to shuck off once he gets a hold of you. He's got slick back takes, and he's got dangerous submissions, a black belt in jiu-jitsu. But even on the feet, he's no slouch either. He may not be as technical as Van, but he's got chaotic pressure, which I believe could disrupt the technical boxing of Joshua Van. He's got knockout power to threaten Van on the feet, good leg kicks. He also has a good chin to take the punches of Van. He could possibly just wear him down with that relentless pressure on the feet, potentially overwhelm him, do some damage until he's able to settle in with his grappling. And again, we don't know how Van could deal with the grappling of Pantoja. And Pantoja is going to come in this matchup highly motivated, highly pissed off to get his get back here against Van and make things right. And the level of danger that the former champion Pantoja brings to the new champion is a 6 out of 10. And the second runner-up will be Van's next opponent, Tatsuro Taira. The battle of the kids from the 2000s. Like Van, Taira's got the youth and the confidence, but Taira, I believe, has a physical advantage. He's bigger, stronger, and you combine that with the grappling advantage that Tatsuro Taira brings to this fight. Taira has the takedown threat, and if he takes down Van, he could possibly control him on the ground. And Taira is very good at getting into dominant positions to where he can either find a sub or finish his opponents with ground and pound. But even the striking, Van should watch out as well, because Taira is improving on the feet, and he also has some pop to his punches and could possibly catch Van off guard. While Van's worried about the takedowns, Taira could catch him out of nowhere with a bomb on the feet. And the third runner-up is Manal Starboy Cap. Just like Joshua Van, he is one of the best strikers in the flyweight division. He is just as technical as Van. He is just as fast as Joshua Van. but he's got a knockout threat on Van. If he lands clean, he can absolutely hurt Van and put him away. But Manal Kape, I believe, has a wider shot selection over Van, being the kickboxer of the fight, Van only being the boxer. Manal Kape has the superior kicks. He's got knees he could work with, flying knees, elbows, multiple different ways he could catch and hurt Van, but could also just pick him apart and outpoint him as well. This is a very dangerous matchup for Joshua Van. And now for the men's bantamweight division, where the new, and once again, bantamweight champion of the world is Petr No Mercy Yan. This guy is an absolute machine. Funny enough, because he beat a guy with the nickname The Machine. But Yan is a true machine. This guy is good at everything, good everywhere. He's durable, insane cardio, good defensively on the feet, good defensively with wrestling, and offensively, he's one of the best strikers in the bantamweight division, from his boxing to his kickboxing. His wrestling offensively is also very good, and he's got some of the highest fight IQ at bantamweight. He's well coached, and he's good at sticking to a game plan, fighting to a game plan, and executing it perfectly. But with Yan being the champion, once again, there are some challenges in his path to actually getting some defenses of his belt. And I believe the nightmare matchup for Petr No Mercy Yan is going to be his last opponent, Merab the Machine Dvalishvili. These two are 1-1 against each other with dominant decision wins over one another. And even though Yan won that last fight handily, whenever you dethrone the dominant champion, the rematch is the biggest test and always going to be the hardest to win, because the dominant champ that loses always comes back stronger. And Merab, if anyone can come back strong from a loss like that, it's Merab. He's got the mentality to do it, and he still has a style that can make him difficult for Yan. That fight was more competitive than people remembered. Yan won that fight mainly off damage, but Merab Dvalishvili still has the threat of his chain wrestling, can always make Yan work to defend takedowns. Merab the Machine Dvalishvili also fights with an insane pace, with endless cardio, high volume, and unironically enough, that style can work on Yan's patient, low output style. Merab just has to make the adjustments and put it together better than what he was able to do in the second fight, like he was able to do in the first fight. And the level of danger that Merab Dvalishvili brings to the champion, Petr No Mercy Yan, is a 5.5 out of 10. And the second runner-up will be Umar Nurmagomedov. And what makes Umar a tough matchup for a guy like Petr Yan is, much like Yan, he's one of the most well-rounded fighters in the division. From the striking to the grappling, Umar Nurmagomedov has that Sambo wrestling, Dagestani wrestling style that could threaten a guy like Petr No Mercy Yan. He has potential to take Yan down, hold him down, win rounds off of that, and he could also make Yan think in the stand-up. He could potentially win exchanges with Petr Yan on the feet. He's got good boxing, he's got good kicks as well, good question mark kicks, and Umar Nurmagomedov is always improving every time we see him, and he comes from a good camp, Team Khabib, so he's definitely the contender for Yan to watch out for. And the third runner-up will be Sugar Sean O'Malley, who already holds a win over the champion. Controversial, yes, but that fight was not easy for either man. It was an absolute war where Yan took more damage than he's ever taken in a single fight. And I believe that Sean O'Malley has a slight advantage on the feet, which is why Yan was forced into a wrestling-heavy game plan, because in the stand-up, O'Malley showed he could win exchanges, do damage, hurt Yan, and I still believe his striking is a threat to Petr Yan, and this time he's going to be prepared for Yan to grapple more, and if his takedown defense is better than the first fight, he still has a chance at beating Petr Yan again. And now, moving on into the featherweight division, where the featherweight champion is Alexander the Great Volkanovski. This man is extremely well-rounded, good everywhere, good at striking, good at wrestling. He's got an unbreakable spirit with amazing 5-round cardio, high fight IQ. All of that combined is why he's been the champ for as long as he's been. And this is why he is the greatest featherweight of all time, undoubtedly. But for as good as Volkanovski is, he is getting up there in age. He is anything but unbeatable. We've already seen him lose before. And I believe if there is a nightmare matchup for Volkanovski in this division, that would be undefeated Movsar Evloev. Movsar Evloev is closer to his prime than current Volkanovski, which automatically by default gives him a really good shot at winning. This guy is progressing every time we see him. We already know his wrestling is so good, so dominant, and now his striking is coming a long way. His hands are developing, he's got some pop to his punches, and he can fight at an intense pace for over 5 rounds. He's got good 5-round cardio, so he's not going to slow down that easily against the champion. And he fights very tactically, fights to a good solid game plan. He's very disciplined. He also has good fight IQ. He is a championship level fighter. He'd undoubtedly be champion without Volk in the picture. And the level of danger that Movsar brings to the current champ Volkanovski is a 5.2 out of 10. And the second runner-up will be Aljamain, the Funk Master Sterling, the second biggest grappling threat in this division to Volk after Movsar Evloev. Aljamain has some of the best chain grappling wrestling in the featherweight division. He can take down anybody at will, including the champion. He's very physically strong, and when he gets a hold of you, he's hard to shake off, and he's got some of the slickest back takes in the UFC. They don't call him the human backpack for nothing, and we've seen Volk get his back taken by Lopez, Islam, Chad Mendes, and Aljo could definitely get the back of Volk, and you do not want this guy in your back, otherwise it could be wraps. And the third runner-up will be Gian Lord Silva. Gian Silva has some of the slickest, fastest hands in the featherweight division with one-shot, sniper-like knockout power with sick combinations. He's very creative on the feet, very confident, very talented, and he can literally catch Volkanovski with literally anything. Like in a pure striking match, this will be dangerous for Volk. He'd need to use his grappling against someone like Gian Silva, because in just striking, there is a chance that Volkanovski could potentially get knocked out. And now, heading in to the lightweight division, where the champion is Ilia El Matador Topuria. Ilia Topuria, as of right now, this guy looks unstoppable. He is on a generational run right now. He's taken out 3 back-to-back former champions, and he's won all 3 of these fights against these 3 former champions by knockouts. Decapitated Volkanovski, became the first man to chin Max Holloway, put Oliveira out cold, and that win aged beautifully. Ilia Topuria is the best boxer in the UFC, and he's extremely well-rounded. His ground game is good. He's got good Brazilian jiu-jitsu, good wrestling, so he can defend takedowns if you want to take him down. He can get takedowns of his own, and we know he has that nuclear option against anybody that he goes up against. However, if there is a nightmare matchup for Ilia in this division, if there is one man who I could see beating Ilia, that man would be Arman Tsarukyan. Ilia Topuria will do good against and beat any striker you put in front of him. But we've never seen Ilia Topuria have to face a dominant grappler/wrestler, and that's what Arman Tsarukyan is. For as good as Ilia's wrestling is, I think Arman Tsarukyan is the only one in this weight class who can straight up out wrestle Ilia Topuria and neutralize him on the ground. He has a physical advantage over Ilia. He's much bigger, he's much stronger, which will make his grappling much harder to fend off. And once Arman Tsarukyan is able to get his opponents down, he doesn't just control his opponents, he does damage with ground and pound, and he can submit people as well. So submissions, ground and pound, those are things that Ilia would have to watch out for if he does get taken down against someone like Arman Tsarukyan. Arman is the only one with a style to just straight up grind down and potentially maul an Ilia Topuria. And the level of danger that Arman Tsarukyan brings to the current champion is a 6 out of 10. And now, moving on into the welterweight division, where the welterweight champion of the world is Islam Makhachev. Islam Makhachev once ruled the lightweight division for many years, but he just recently ascended to the welterweight division. He conquered this weight class, becoming the double champion with a dominant performance over JDM. His style that made him so difficult at 155 perfectly translated over into 170. And what makes Islam such a difficult style and just a nightmare for anyone to fight is his dominant Dagestani wrestling grappling style. Everyone knows what he wants to do, but nobody can stop it. But it's not just his ground dominance that makes him unstoppable or hard to beat. Islam Makhachev is a complete fighter. His striking is also good, offensively as well as defensively. He's got underrated speed, he's got underrated power, he's got high fight IQ, and he's well coached. Islam is the pound for pound #1 king for a reason. However, he is a champion of a shark tank of a division, a talent stacked division, and I believe the biggest threat to Makhachev's throne right now is Michael Morales. Michael Morales is extremely dangerous. He's got a size advantage over Islam Makhachev. He's huge for the division. His takedown defense is improving, and he hits very hard. He's got the power threat on Islam. He is the better striker than Islam Makhachev. And he's got extremely overwhelming pressure that a lot of guys fold too early. And if he's able to shut down the grappling of Islam Makhachev earlier on and is able to put that pressure on Islam and connect hands on Islam, he no doubt is capable of putting Islam Makhachev away. And the level of danger that Michael Morales brings to the king of this division is a 7 out of 10. And now for the middleweight division, where the middleweight champion is Khamzat Chimaev. This man is the definition of inevitability. He has a style where everyone knows what he wants to do. It's no secret that Khamzat wants to sprint across the octagon and double leg you into the canvas and beat you up. Yet nobody can stop what this guy does. He is undefeated. 15 men have tried and 15 men have failed. This guy is the boogeyman of his own division. His wrestling is literally unstoppable, and once he gets you down, it's very hard to get back to your feet. And even if you get back up, you don't create separation. He drags you back down again. He mauls you, and either he ground and pound TKOs you, or he can find a sub, or he can just ride you out to a decision. But he's no slouch on the feet either. His striking is coming a long way, and he's got sneaky power. He can trade on the feet as well as dominate you with his wrestling. And right now, it kind of seems like there really are no true nightmare matchups for Khamzat. Like, who is stopping this guy? But that's what makes these videos fun, is having the challenge of having to find someone who could potentially be a threat to Chimaev. Many people think it's Sean Strickland with his underrated grappling defense, but honestly, I don't see what other people see. But what I do see, the one man who could potentially, but at a bare minimum, be a somewhat dangerous matchup for Boris is his last opponent, Dricus Stillknox du Plessis. Even though Khamzat Chimaev is so much better than Dricus du Plessis, what makes DDP so dangerous, not just for Khamzat, but literally anyone in the division, is this guy's resilience, his heart. This guy has the strongest mind out of everyone in the middleweight division. He does not quit. He does not slow down throughout the fight. And he showed to be, in that last fight with Khamzat, one of the very few guys who can actually last with him throughout the fight over the long haul. And he nearly came back in the 5th round against Khamzat, putting him in danger. Like, he will stay in the fight until he figures things out. And he already has an advantage on the feet against Khamzat Chimaev. He's more powerful than Khamzat Chimaev. And overall, his game is more complete than a Khamzat Chimaev. And going forward in a rematch, he's going to be coming in with a lot of confidence off of his 5th round success. And he does have a chance to make the adjustments in his grappling. Whereas we know Khamzat, he's going to want to do the same thing. He's going to need to do the same thing against Dricus du Plessis. But what if Dricus du Plessis next time is more prepared for the grappling and is able to better enforce his striking? He might just have a chance in a rematch, even though it's a long shot, and the level of danger that Dricus du Plessis brings to the champion, Khamzat Chimaev, it is going to be a 4 out of 10. And for the light heavyweight division, the new light heavyweight champion of the world is Carlos Black Jag Ulberg. This guy was able to ascend to the throne when Alex Pereira left to go to heavyweight, and many people thought if Alex wasn't the champion, then Yuri Prochazka is the guy. But Ulberg, even on one knee, was able to go out there, shatter those expectations, and shatter Yuri Prochazka's jaw, and become the newly crowned light heavyweight champion. This guy is one of the most deadliest strikers in the light heavyweight division. And now that Alex is gone, I think the best striker title goes to Ulberg. It was Alex who had the most dangerous left hook. Now it is Carlos Ulberg, and he showed his heart and resilience to be able to find that shot even when his knee was giving up on him. To be able to win a title like that is so impressive. But if there is a nightmare matchup for a guy like Carlos Black Jag Ulberg, I believe the nightmare matchup for Carlos Ulberg, that man will be Magomed Ankalaev. What makes Ankalaev an interesting matchup against a guy like Carlos Ulberg, even though on paper, without Alex, Ulberg is the best striker, Magomed Ankalaev has some of the best light heavyweight striking as well. Very good boxing, very solid defensively, just as good defensively as Carlos Ulberg is. Like Ulberg, he's also a very dangerous counter striker with power of his own. He can take Ulberg on the feet, be competitive with him standing up, but he has a more well-rounded game than Carlos Ulberg. He has some wrestling offensively that he could fall back on in a potential fight against Carlos Ulberg. Like, this definitely would not be an easy fight for Ulberg if it were to take place. Ankalaev has a very disciplined style, more disciplined than Yuri Prochazka, who's more chaotic. Ankalaev usually fights to a solid game plan and is very good at executing those game plans. So I think the level of danger that a guy like Magomed Ankalaev brings to the table against the champion Carlos Ulberg will be a 6.5 out of 10. And now for the final weight class in this video. The heaviest weight class in the UFC is the UFC's heavyweight division. And the ruler of this division is Tom Aspinall, one of the most talented fighters in the division, by far the most well-rounded fighter in the division. He's got elite boxing, fast, slick, powerful hands, good head movement, good footwork, good movement for a heavyweight. Overall, very fast and athletic for a heavyweight. And along with his elite striking boxing, he's got elite level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, good grappling. He can take you down, submit you. But for as good as Tom Aspinall is, he is anything but unbeatable. In fact, very beatable, and was exposed to be very human in his last outing against Ciryl Banyamangan. And that is going to be the nightmare matchup for Tom Aspinall. And why Gan is such a difficult fight for Tom, why he showed to be a very difficult fight for him in that original meeting, within that 1-round fight before he poked him in the eye, is because out of everyone else in the heavyweight division, Gan is one of the very few who can match Tom Aspinall's athleticism, his heavyweight speed, his footwork, his reflexes, and along with that, he is the slight better striker than Tom Aspinall, with better defense. He's elusive, hard to hit, good at avoiding damage while dishing out damage. He's not someone that Tom is just going to easily blast and get out of there within the first round. Like, he forces Tom into a real proper fight. And for a potential rematch, Tom is really going to want to step up his game if he wants to be able to get it done against Ciryl Gane. And the level of danger that Ciryl Gane brings to the champion Tom Aspinall will be a 7 out of 10. But if Ciryl Gane wants to see Tom Aspinall again, he must get through his next opponent, Alex Poatan Pereira, a new addition to the heavyweight division, former 2-division champion. And Alex Pereira is known for his top-tier striking, a lot of striking experience from his Glory kickboxing days, a lot of striking IQ, very good at capitalizing on and exploiting openings and holes that his opponents leave against him, and the margin of error is very small against Alex. Not only can he beat Tom technically with the striking, but he has the nuclear option, the touch of death, especially in that left hook. And if Tom zigs when he should have zagged, Tom could end up getting knocked out. Pereira also has lethal calf kicks, which could compromise the footwork of Tom, which can make him a lot easier to hit. And if Tom doesn't grapple or isn't able to, then a victory against Pereira is not guaranteed. But that's going to be a wrap for my nightmare matchups for champions in every division 2026 edition. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Like and subscribe, and peace out.